Good morning,
Good morning.
Tammy.
Good
How
morning,
are
Carol.
you? It's good to see
Hi.
you.
It's
Ah,
nice to see you too. It's nice to be back.
yeah, it's great. And we want to say hi to our YouTube audience too. And thank you for joining us in the sacred energy of Circle this morning. And today you're going to be able to watch Tammy and I as we connect with people who have crossed over to the other side and deliver messages from those people. I'm hoping anyway that I can talk. I'm suffering from this wildfire smoke that is coming through the United States. But our hope is that by watching us work live, you'll come to understand that the loved ones that you may have lost are still with you. So, can you please join us as we open with a prayer? Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make this circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. All right. And since it is just the two of us, I'm not going to set a timer up, but whenever anybody gets a link, just hop on in there. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
I do have somebody who came in pretty
Oh, dang.
quickly.
You're fast,
Yes.
girl.
Yeah, he came. Well, let's hope,
Okay.
If
All
you
right.
can't
Go
take
ahead.
any of it, it's not so fast. Okay. I have a man here that I believe is for you. That's kind of funny. Yes. Um, and I feel that this is somebody that you know, but perhaps you haven't seen for quite a while. He comes in um, saying that he calls himself a drummer, but he's self-deprecating in that he says, "I'm not so sure how good I was at it." I also understand he had a motorcycle, and the name coming associated with him or that I felt was either his or around him was Wayne, or perhaps even a W. So let me just check and see, Carol, if you recognize a Wayne.
His name is not Wayne, but Wayne would have been around me. And
Okay.
I understand the male that I haven't seen for quite a while, who was the drummer.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, okay. And I'm just gonna, this one I'm not so sure about, but I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm also getting a Charlie. And so, would the person coming through, the drummer, his name start with it? Oh, now start with a C?
Uh,
Okay.
his name did not start with a C. Okay.
Okay. First, middle, last. None of no
Yeah,
C.
no.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Charlie just kind of popped in. So, Um, okay, so let's explore who's in here and who is talking about Wayne. And first of all, I want to go and talk about the person who's coming in here. And would you understand? Okay, so Wayne is different is Wayne embodied? Is he?
Wayne's in body,
Yeah,
right?
okay, okay, that
Mhm.
makes sense. Okay, and so the man coming in knows Wayne, and the man coming in is the one who uh, drummed
Correct.
and has a motorcycle and
Mhm.
or had him. Well, he may still, but you know, um, they keep living. So, so I understand with him that it looks like he did. I'm feeling very much with him that he did a lot of um, almost road trips on this bike. That I'm feeling that he might have gone off to I don't feel like he just rode it like from one place to the next. I feel that he did some cruising, is what I want to say. I feel like he did some cruising on this bike,
I
spent
believe he
some
did.
time on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um And I do believe that he had a group. I feel like he had a group with whom he did some of this cruising. That he had a kind of a nice group that he enjoyed of people who did this. And I feel that, there's some people, years ago, probably because of Hell's Angels, got very nervous about, motorcycle gangs. But in fact, this is such a lovely group of people, very intelligent and kind of thoughtful, kind of a thoughtful group. Just
Yes.
not, I wouldn't say they're like, there's no sense of violence around these people at all. They just seem
That
like,
makes perfect sense.
yeah,
Yes.
everyday folks, but they just like doing this. And it's it's a shared hobby or, passion that they enjoy.
Yes. Mhm.
And I know that they stop, kind of along the way or at different places when they're getting something to eat. And I do see some beer, I see some beer like in glasses and, people, cheering each other, so I know that they would stop and have a beer here and there. Um, but I also know that with that they were very careful about being on the road driving, and like they didn't overdo it. They were just very aware of that, very cognizant of that. So I understand that the man coming through, let me just ask, do you know who this man is that's coming through?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, perfect. Okay. So then you would also know that he was, I feel that he liked to read. It's so funny because that must be something I wonder about, because they come in and they tell me whether they liked reading or didn't like reading. So, and so it's like, okay. And so I know he liked reading, and I know he liked time. I'm seeing him with time on his own, where he's this quiet person in this moment, kind of sitting and reading. And when I'm with him, I'm feeling very gentle, which is really interesting. I'm feeling very kind of gentle and like a very light energy, I want to call it, like not somebody with a lot of drama. I'm not feeling drama, heaviness around him. I'm feeling more of a lightness around him in this moment of him kind of sitting and reading. And are you understanding that?
Uh, I'm going to hold my feedback for that. So please continue. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
This is
Well,
really interesting. This is good
okay, and
learning. Okay.
it's in this moment, and I feel like we're in a place where he's kind of off on his own, and
Okay.
he's reading, and he's kind of either sitting or stretched out. It's kind of hard to say, but and the place feels small and simple wherever he is now, showing me, and that he sits quietly and likes this time. And he's a thinker. I know he's a thinker because he also shows me in this same kind of space with a pencil. Well, isn't that interesting? So he shows me kind of tapping a pencil, and okay. So, and he's also clever, and he's got a sense of humor because he shows me the pencil. So he's leading me to, and I'm like, well, are you going to write? Like what's happening? But then it's like he's looking out a window, he's holding a pencil, and then all of a sudden with the one pencil, and now he's got two, and he starts drumming. So now he's like drumming with the pencil. And so I feel he writes a bit and then drums, writes a bit and drums. And I want to know, or it's funny. He doesn't want to, he's not really expressing more about the writing. Um, but I know that he either doesn't want to do any more of it or he's finished with it or done with it. But I feel like in a way that he's um, kind of like he's done with it. Like he's had enough because he breaks the pencil in half. He's
Makes
like and like
sense.
throws it and he's like, I am so done with this. And
Makes
so
sense.
okay, so that's how I know that he's whatever it is, he's done. Um, okay, I know he had a wife. The
Hmm.
name that came in was Sarah. I'm not sure if that, would you understand the name Sarah?
His wife was not named Sarah, but I don't know if there was a Sarah around him.
Okay, okay, thank you. He's
Mhm.
calling her his lovely wife. I thought he said my lovely wife Sarah, but uh-oh. Oops.
Well,
Oh.
but it may be something I don't know too.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Um, so I know that I know that he was close with his wife, I know they had a good relationship because he shows me them being shoulder to shoulder. And so that shows me that he was they were very close and that he was adoring of her actually because of what he's sharing with me now. So I do feel that he cared very much about this woman who is next to him, um, very closely next to him. So he's taking me now to would you know if he shot pool because now he's
Oh
moved
yeah.
okay, he's moved away. He's kind of mentioned her and he was like, yeah, we were close. That was good. I adored her. I loved her. Now let's go to something else, which is making me realize that I'm feeling with him that he's not somebody who doted on emotion, like because I feel like, yes, this was this. Okay, let's go shoot some pool. So that maybe he's not, he was a man of his generation,
Hmm.
where emotion
Yeah.
just isn't shared so much. So we've gone back now to play pool. And so we're in a place where we're playing pool, and I feel that it's a kind of a casual bar, like atmosphere. And okay. Um, I'm also understanding with him that he is showing me, and I don't see the motorcycle in this for what he's showing me. It's a memory, but I do see him also out in some kind of bucolic, you know, setting with lots of trees, nothing around, a dirt road, and that he's on that. And there may have even been like a stream nearby. Um, I am feeling like there was a stream or some kind of water nearby, and um, and I feel like he spent some time there. And it's interesting. He really did need that private time because he's alone here, and he's just kind of needs time to be to himself and think and contemplate. He's telling me now that he really liked stars. I don't think it's the movie star. I don't think he's talking about celebrities. In fact, I know he's not. I'm kind of kidding, but he's talking about astronomy. And he said he found it very fascinating how everything, all the things connected together. And he's saying astronomy is a science, but it's also an art. He's saying there were many things I was passionate about. My family, the earth, the things I could do during my time here, music. I was curious about, oh, well, what else? Like, what about like cooking? He's like, no, I wasn't much of a, wasn't much of a like cook or chef or, okay. He said, I could man the grill, but it's not like I would be in the kitchen, with an apron on, baking cakes. So he does feel, he really does feel like very much how our culture raises, men of that generation. A
Mhm.
classic, uh, uh, of what the culture's idea is of you know, a man. And bear with me just a minute here. Well, that's such a funny thing. Um, and now he's talking about a shop girl he used to know, and that it was so long ago. And her name was, it was either Candy or something like that, Candy Dandy, or something like that. And he says, I think she was my first crush. And then he's saying, it seems life seems so long, but and as when we hear this all the time, right? But it really is so fast.
Mhm.
And he says, you'll never believe it. Well, that's about all I've got for you today, says he. And he says, um, give my best to Carol. He said something just before that, but I lost the sentence. Um, okay. Well, I'm gonna leave it there for you.
Mhm. Okay, we have so much to talk about
Oh
on
gosh, I
this
forgot
reading.
about Wayne. Let me just check to see
Yes. Okay.
if did he have a message for Wayne.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Okay, bear with me for just a
Uh-huh.
minute.
Yeah.
Okay, would you understand that Wayne is having some health issues?
Yes.
Okay, he said Wayne's going down the drain. Um, so I know he's got a sense of humor as well. I think I said that, but um, I just tell Wayne to go with the flow. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna say what he said. It's an easy exit,
Mm.
and give him my best if you're able to do that. But that's what has come through, and give him my best.
Okay.
Okay.
Fascinating. We're going to have a lot to talk about on this one. Um,
Well,
so for the benefit of our YouTube audience, okay, the man in spirit was my high school boyfriend who I dumped rather horribly. Okay. Which makes sense. Tammy, very first thing that Tammy said was, I haven't seen him for quite a while. Not since high school,
wow.
actually. Okay.
Wow.
you know, but it is kind of interesting because he has come into circles periodically
Mhm.
um, with information. Okay. Now, the Wayne in question is a childhood friend of mine. Okay. That I've known since I was like 3 years old, long before I knew the man in spirit. Okay. And the man in spirit was insanely jealous of Wayne, my relationship with Wayne, even though Wayne was, he's a gay man. Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh, yeah.
it's like, excuse me, crazy. But um, so many fascinating pieces of information on this. And I want to go back and talk about um, specific points. Okay. So you were talking about him cruising on a motorcycle. Okay. And being part of a group that was intelligent.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Which is, well, now see, this is very strange. Okay. Because I think what happened, okay, like after high school, I think what happened is that he matured, okay, and he moved on, and perhaps he did some good things with his life, and this is what he's telling me, okay. But I know, okay, that he was part of a motorcycle group. He worked for Westinghouse. He was an
Oh,
engineer for Westinghouse,
okay, that
okay,
makes sense.
and
Yeah.
they were Westinghouse engineers on motorcycles, okay. And this I know because I happen to know somebody else who works for Westinghouse who knew him. Okay.
Oh my
But like
gosh.
I didn't know that
Oh,
because
world.
like he told me that. I knew it because this other friend of mine told me that he was part of this group of Westinghouse engineers who like to ride motorcycles and go cruising, which is really funny. Okay. Now you said you showed himself it showed he showed himself reading and he was a thinker. And that's fascinating to me because, like, I never saw that aspect of his
Mhm.
personality. Okay. And in fact, when I knew him, I was the reader and thinker. Okay. And that's
Okay.
part of the reason that we, like, eventually
I think this was more, he looked like he was more in his 30s, maybe even early 40s in this
yeah.
image. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what he's telling me there is he evolved. Okay.
Yeah.
But you kept on coming back to facts that I knew. Okay.
Mhm.
And at that point you were talking about him drumming with pencils.
Yeah.
Okay. Which he did all the time.
Oh,
Okay.
oh my
And
gosh,
that was
with
fun
pencils?
with pencils, literally,
Oh my
because he
gosh.
was not a trained drummer, at least when I knew him. Okay. But he wanted to be the drummer. Okay. And he would drum with pencils.
Oh, and that's why he said I wasn't very good at it. He
Well,
said
there
I'm the
you go.
drummer, but I wasn't very good
There,
at
there
it.
you go.
Okay.
Okay. And then you said, yeah, I kind of highlighted the key pieces of evidence in this. You said, he said that he is done with everything. Okay. And he accepted an early retirement buyout from Westinghouse. Okay. And
Oh,
went like cruising all across the United States on the motorcycle. And I know this from my other friend who worked for Westinghouse. Okay. Um, Now I know he was eventually married, but his wife's name was not Sarah. I don't know who Sarah is. Okay. He did shoot pool. Okay. And and then you came in and you said, so that's information like that I knew, but then you came in with information that I didn't know. Okay. Where you said he liked stars and astronomy, said it's science, but also an art. Okay. And he was passionate about family and earth. Well, that was funny because like that would not have been the case when I knew him.
yeah.
But I believe what you're telling me is that he matured,
Yeah.
okay, and this is the life path that he took, which is very interesting. Okay. And then you were talking about Wayne having health issues, and this ironic because got up this morning and I was thinking I need to call Wayne.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, so I am going to find out what is going on with Wayne, and I will put that, um, you know, uh, in the comments, under this video and let everybody know, okay,
Yeah.
what is going on with Wayne if I can find out anything about that. But I want to go back because this is so interesting. And I think you just kicked up mediumship to a new level. Okay, and
Wow.
this is what I want to talk about. No, but like this combination of information that you gave me, okay, where definitely I could verify it, like the drumming with the pencils and the motorcycle and the whole bit, okay. But then this side of him that I never knew because
Oh,
I
right.
dumped him. Okay, all right. And so now all of a sudden you're saying, okay, that he is into stars and astronomy.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
fascinating. So, talk to me about this type of information coming through in mediumship. Do you see that happen often?
Well, first of all, when I think back, and probably you too, when I think back to how much I have changed since high school, I'm two different people. I mean,
Right.
absolutely, in fact, I've probably been three totally different people.
Me
In
too.
fact, I'm quite sure I have. So we're, those stages. And so because we're hopefully always learning and growing and becoming better humans. And so I don't doubt it. And then as you were talking about it, I was thinking, oh, that makes sense. If he's like touring the United States and all of that, I could see how he would start to now feel, the stars, and it kind of all goes together, like
Right.
he's exploring the wilderness and the land. And so, of course, the earth and the star, he's out kind of in it. So as you were describing it, it was almost like I was thinking with him, like, oh, I can see why you would have done that, why you would have started to be interested in that. And but the way it came through was really when they start to speak telepathically. So when I say I'm hearing them say, it's not that I can actually hear a little voice, not like somebody standing next to me. It's telepathic. It's when somebody drops in like a date, December 3rd. They drop it into your awareness. Um, and so that came from just him dropping that line. And so I just repeat the line exactly how it's been dropped in, like just like I would say December 3rd, if they drop that in. And um, so those were the things that at that point there were like, I don't remember I only remember the stars when at this point. I think there were like four different lines that, I just repeated what he was putting into my awareness. Um, and then I always just assume, and that for developing mediums, that's when the true trust comes in, because you have to know
Mhm.
that it's not in your mind. You have to not question that, but you also have to trust and put your ego aside and say, if it's wrong, it's wrong. But if you're hearing it, if it's coming into your awareness, just repeat what you hear. Just repeat what you hear. And, that's the trust part, because people get, oh, what if it's wrong? And they stop actually and like review it and, assess it. And then you start to lose the connection as well. So it's just, when it drops in, just repeat exactly what they're putting into your awareness. And I mean, most of the time it's right on. uh it's totally understandable to the recipient, where occasionally not, like the name, like I heard, this is my wife Sarah, and
Mm.
so,
May have
but
been,
it's
I
like,
don't know. Yeah.
yeah, and I it's like, I don't know, I'm just repeating what, and so, and it's also when you think about the communication, like when we think how hard it is to communicate in our own language, and then think of foreign languages, and then think of, oh my gosh, reality to reality or dimension to dimension. And, sometimes the words get skewed. It's like, yeah.
And you're bringing up a good point, and I for the benefit of our YouTube audience, okay, Tammy and I are both fairly experienced mediums, and then because of that, we've given and we've also received thousands of readings. So I'm going to look at that reading that Tammy just gave me. Okay. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say, what do you think would have happened had you given that reading to someone who has only had 2 or 3 readings?
Mhm.
Okay. And then, like, for the benefit of our YouTube audience, okay, like the information about, well, liking the stars and astronomy, okay, which was something that, like, I didn't know about them. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So would an inexperienced sitter have said no at that point? What do you
They
think?
they probably would have, and then I think that's where it's the medium's job to know that they haven't, this person is from a long time ago. So you would go back and you'd say, so you knew this person a long time ago. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Then I would say, would there be? It's almost like being an attorney, you know, sometimes it's like, well, would because people change. Could this be something? Could this be something that he has become aware of as he's evolved? Well, yes. They might not know that still, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Okay.
You know.
So, developing mediums, have we heard that? Because that's a very good point. Okay. Tammy just said that if something like that should happen, okay, where your center is inexperienced, okay, and they give you a no for that piece of evidence, go back and ask, why are you being given that information? And if spirit tells you that, yes, that's true, then spirit is telling you that they have evolved, okay, or something along those lines, and it's just new information for the sitter. It's not a no. Okay. So I'm so glad that that happened, because we've never talked about that on this channel, so
Yeah.
that's really good. That was really, really good.
Yeah, and like you've said in the past, that some of the best evidence is evidence that the recipient doesn't know, and then they go and verify, and it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's true.
surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so that's some of the best evidence of all. Yeah.
And now in practice, I have no intention of, searching out his wife and asking if he
No,
likes astronomy.
no.
I don't
Okay. Yeah,
care.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, but it is interesting to see, this is what he's saying about himself. Okay, and I'll tell you personally, I'm happy that that has happened because he needed to grow up. He
Yeah,
really needed to grow up,
he
and
seems like a very mature. He seems like a very mature, kind of thoughtful individual, who um yeah, he's still hanging around. He's still here. Yeah.
okay,
So,
all
yeah.
right, all right.
Yeah, he's
I want
enjoying
to
I
thank
think he's enjoying watching,
Is he
yeah,
okay? All
yeah,
right.
he's just watching now. He's hanging around. In fact, he's doing a little, it's like he's not dancing a lot. He's not like really getting into it, but he's doing this very condensed, kind of like this, like he's dancing, but just very kind of small, thing right now. So,
Oh, that's funny because he would never dance with me.
oh, well, that's
So
probably why
that's
it's
another
just a little
evolution.
bit. He's doing as much as he can for you,
Yeah,
maybe. Like right now, it's a little tiny bit like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh gosh. Oh, I love that. That was a fabulous reading. Thank you,
Oh,
Tammy.
thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. I
Thank
don't even
you.
know that I want to read after that, but I'll give it a shot here and see who I
Well, I
can
hope
come
some
up
of my people are around today. I feel
Okay.
like I'm often a more difficult read because my people don't come. So people come,
Yeah.
please.
And
So,
that's funny because when you say that, all of a sudden I'm hearing Barbara Streisand singing "People Who Need People are the luckiest people in the world." So, all right, I
you need
and
people.
for the benefit of our YouTube audience, that oddly enough can be evidence. So I am going to follow that train of thought and see where that goes. Mm. All right, and I also feel like I have somebody from your very distant past here because this is coming up all in like the 1970s. Okay. And for the benefit of our YouTube audience, these are the readings that can be really difficult to land, but I'm going to take the risk of embarrassing myself on YouTube, and I'm going to try to do it anyway. So, so let me see. Okay, so we have, yes, this is the 70s. Okay, and I am here. People who need people are the luckiest people. There's
People who
Barbara.
need dead people.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so the setting that I am in is distinctly urban. Like this looks like a major city like New York, something like this. A lot of chaos, traffic, people on the streets going back and forth. That's the scene that is being shown to me. And related to this is, come on, show yourself. Okay, there's a male coming in here, okay, who is wearing, uh, gotta say it, tight pants. Okay, really tight pants. Okay. Um, and crazy, like, oh, I'm just laughing. I loved the 70s. They were a great time to be alive. They really were.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but yes, his pants are really tight, and uh, but he's wearing um a suit jacket, but it is not a suit jacket for like a bank or something like this. It's um yeah, like not a leisure suit. Okay, it's better made than that. But so he's a bit of a fashionista, I'll call him. Okay, a male fashionista, carries it well, and I feel like this guy would have been associated with like there's an art aspect to him that I'm trying to dig out, and it's not coming out yet. So I'm going to
I,
stop
I understand. I'm understanding, and I understand the art aspect.
this weird art aspect. Okay, all right, thank
Yep,
you. All right, let me
yep.
lean more into him. All right. Okay. Would you have known this man to have what's the word that I want? Extremes in lifestyle. Let's put it that way.
Extremes.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's see. I feel like a a hard party side to him. Do you
Um,
understand a party side to him?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. There's martini glasses coming in here. Martini glasses. All right. See what means. And downtown is really important because now I'm hearing Petula Clark singing downtown, downtown. So
Oh,
so
okay.
downtown was an important aspect of this man's life. Let's see. I want to go back to the art side of him though.
I understand the downtown part.
Okay, yeah, it's funny, but it's so strange the way this information's coming in today.
And I
Uh,
think I understand too the martinis. It's a reference. Yeah.
okay, all right. Let's see. If I go down this art road with him, this art side to him, would you be able to verify any of that
Uh,
information?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Let's see where this goes. So I want to say first of all, like I feel like an appreciation for art in general. Like he
Yes,
was
yes.
um yeah, like somebody would go to an art gallery and look
Yep.
at art. Okay, all right. But I'm trying to figure out if he was like a painter or something, and that's just not coming right now. So I'm gonna sit with him a bit more. Okay, would it make sense to you that this man had high aspirations that he did not reach with respects to creativity?
He might have had. I'm not totally sure, but he might have had.
Huh, okay, maybe.
Yeah,
Let's
he
go
might
down
well
this
have.
road. Maybe this is something Tammy doesn't know that Spirit wants to talk about. And we'll see. So now he's showing me an image of Bob Ross, the painter Bob Ross with the big hair. Okay.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. And he's pointing to him and he's saying, I could never be as famous as that guy. Okay. Which is odd. So I want to see why he feels that's important. Okay. Would you understood this man to have um, wanted to say more than he was able to express?
Yes.
Okay. And I feel like what he was trying to do was to express this through art. Okay. And it didn't happen the way that he wanted it to happen. That makes sense to you? Or is
Um,
this information you don't know?
no, I think that's accurate.
Okay. Uh, and I one guy I am asking him for the benefit of our YouTube audience. Okay. This is not a particularly shy guy, okay? But
True.
I want to go and ask him, like, so why didn't this happen for you? You know, what do you think held you back? Okay, and so first of all, he's talking about money, okay? Um, money being a deterrent, and then this is so 70s. This is wonderful. So he's talking about Andy Warhol, okay? And 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 now he's saying pointing to this guy, Andy Warhol, okay? And he's saying that like he just couldn't compete with people like that. Okay. That makes sense to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So he really wanted to um communicate through art. There were things that like he could not say through words that he wanted to communicate through art, but the competition during the 70s was pretty fierce, is what he's telling me. Okay, with people like Andy Warhol and Bob Ross of all people. Okay. And he just was was afraid to fail, okay, is what he's telling me. So he was afraid to take the risk because he was afraid of failure. Okay. I'm not sure that you knew that, but this is what he's telling me. Okay. Let's see what else he wants to say. Now he's taking a wonderful philosophical turn. Okay. And he's saying that I guess I signed up for that when I came into this life. Okay. Did he believe
Mhm.
in reincarnation? Do you know?
Um, I I believe so. I think there was still doubt, but
Okay.
you know,
So this
yeah.
is what he's talking about. He was talking about in that life where he knew Tammy, okay, he had signed up, okay, for this shall we say journey of having uh some talent, okay, and not being able to express himself and wanting to express himself through art, but he just was destined to not make the big time in this lifetime. Okay. So, all right. I want to see. That's really interesting to me. So, being the nosy medium, I want to find out about that. Let's see what he wants to say. He says that it is boring, okay, to be the best in every lifetime. He said it's boring. Okay. So, been there, done that. And he wanted to try something different in that lifetime where you knew him. That's funny. All right. Okay. Um, he is actually talking about a male friend that he had. Did you know him to have a male friend that he was pretty close to?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Talking about the male friend surviving him. Would that be true?
Yeah.
Okay, the male friend survived him. All right.
I mean, he had a few male friends actually.
Yeah, there's one in particular who I think felt the termination of the friendship pretty pretty hard.
Yeah,
Um,
there is. Yeah.
okay. Would you know if the male friend who survives has had kind of unusual things happen around him that he can't explain?
Oh,
Your
I,
your spirit is taking credit for this. Okay.
oh, wow.
Spirit is saying that he's trying to contact the male survivor. Uh, Anywhere else he wants to say. And he's kind of pulling back now. Got to see if I can grab the message from him real quick. Um, he's calling you lovely lady. He says, lovely lady. Okay. And he's blowing you a kiss. Okay. And he doesn't have a message for you. Okay. It's just saying lovely lady like this.
That's a message. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll
That
leave it
makes
at
me
that.
understand. I was for a little bit, I was like, oh, this could be two people. And then, but that's why he doesn't need to say anymore because that it's like, oh, okay. So it was the first person I
Okay.
thought. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
Perfect.
wow, that was awesome. I've
Oh,
got all
thank you.
kinds of notes here. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're going to be so surprised about who this is.
Okay. I
And
am
I,
surprised. Who is this?
and I'm so proud or like good for him to come in so clandestinely so that you had no idea who he was and give totally different information. It was
Is
my
this your
husband.
husband?
Yes.
You gotta be
Yes.
kidding me. I know your husband. That did not feel like him.
I know, right? I know. It's really funny. I was like, nice job. Nice job. You know?
You set me up, you rat. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So urban, yeah, he did, back in the day, the pants were tight, but with the
Yeah.
jacket, definitely a fashionista and super appreciative of all the arts. And I think that he really would have, if he could have been an artist, it's not that he dabbled in it so much. I mean, he did, in his younger days, but he played music, his younger days. And so I could very easily see that he would have thought, wow, that could have been a cool life, because I know he was always, encouraging me to do that, like at least one of us would do it,
Yeah.
he'll keep us fed if I'll go do that, kind of idea.
Fine. Okay.
And so extremes in lifestyle. Yeah, I understand that because yeah, yeah, because the family he came from was much more how would I word it? Um, Not they uh, very discreet. That's the word I would use. They were very discreet in the way they maybe spent money. Maybe that's
Oh,
discreet. They were just very discreet, and very, like they would keep the same thing forever, even though they didn't need to, that kind of
mhm,
thing, to
right.
then a lifestyle where, no holds barred, no holds barred. It's kind of like, so it's kind of like back and forth kind of thing, and and then I think the martini glasses, I think that's very symbolic in my mind for like business lunches and business dinners, like because then
Okay.
he's also talking about
The three martini lunch.
that kind of idea. Yeah, yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it was.
That's
Okay.
what hit me. I was like, oh, okay. Because downtown important aspect of it was like, yeah, because he worked downtown and
Okay.
they had these lunches and they had these dinners and,
Yeah.
so, and the appreciation for art. Um, oh, I thought it was interesting when you said, and this was a learning thing for me. This is great. And for our YouTube audience. Um, when you said, I want to see if he did more in painting. Like, I want to go into that. And you said, the info's not coming. And I thought, oh, that's because there isn't any, because he didn't do it.
Ah,
And I was
okay.
like, oh, okay. I'll keep
There we
that in
go.
mind. The info's not there because no, so
Okay.
I've made a little asterisk, for myself and our YouTube developing mediums, might want to make a note. And then uh, the Bob Ross painter, that's really funny because we have um, oh my gosh, I think his name might, we, he has a cousin, he had a cousin, Joe Ross, and I think Joe Ross's brother might have been Bob. So,
Oh,
you know, and
that's
first
a
I thought,
twofer.
I can find that out. I will find that out. And I had to go look who Bob Ross was. So I
Oh,
looked.
okay. Good.
I looked and I'm like, oh, okay. Now I know who, because he's familiar. It's like, oh, that's who Bob Ross is. Yeah. And
Gotcha.
he had the hair like that. So I'm like,
Oh,
and that's when I thought, wait a minute, is this my husband or is this like Joe Ross coming in, or
oh,
or
okay.
Bob
Okay.
Ross, or like did Bob Ross die? Kind of. So I kind of wondered for a bit, um, but then it went back to me being, sure that, especially the ending, then I was sure that it was, Bob Ross. They wouldn't be blowing me a kiss, but so I don't think, but and also he wasn't able to say what he really wanted to say, and that's because, he's a 9 Enneagram. So anybody who's looked at Enneagrams, he's a 9, they don't express emotion, they don't share. They're not big sharers. Um,
I did not know that.
yeah, I'm a 4, we overshare.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
So,
So,
so it kind of goes together, really, when you think about it. It's funny. You said he's not a shy guy. That's absolutely true. Definitely not.
yeah,
Um, And I understand that the money would have been a deterrent for doing like an artistic field, because I
yeah,
think he
yeah.
really
The
felt
money
like,
just wasn't, the security wasn't there
exactly. And
that
uh,
he wanted. Yeah.
yeah, um,
How funny. Has he
yeah,
ever come through and told you that he would have liked to have maybe thought about that?
no, no, I had no idea, but I could
That's
but
right.
it's when you're telling me, it's like, oh yeah, well now I totally get that because of really liked art. He liked making music, and the fact that he was always like very encouraging of me. I was studying acting when we first met, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah." He was so into the idea, and you go, 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 So it makes me think that also, well, he probably would have liked to do that too, but it was like he knew it was, he also wanted to eat, so you know,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
as did I. So, let's see here. I thought that was really funny that it's boring to be the best in every lifetime. That's hilarious.
I
Um,
couldn't believe he said that, but it's funny, like you were talking about, having that like come in and then you just spit it out and I spit it
Yes.
out and I couldn't believe I said that,
It's so funny. And I could actually see him saying something like that, but it would be like joking.
Yeah,
It would
exactly.
be exactly like you said it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I totally get that.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and the male friend, he's got a few male friends around, but there's one in particular who I believe he's referring to. And and I'm not sure, but I know he knows like that I do this, and so I will ask him very easily, and I'll get back to you if he's noticed any kind of funky things going on, or anything happening.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
He's playing with them. Yeah,
yeah, it'd be so great. I hope he's like paid attention, that it's
yeah,
not for
yeah,
naught,
yeah, yeah.
that the friend has paid attention. Um, and lovely lady, and blowing me a kiss. He used to always do that, and um, so I feel that this was, um, I feel this is my husband. Yeah.
Oh,
So, in fact,
good.
when he first passed that night, we came home. I was washing my face, and I saw him like in a little image up here, and he goes,
Oh my
and can you
goodness.
believe I doubted it? I was
Oh
like,
gosh.
was that just Peter? Like doing that? And later I've realized, of course it was. It was, it's like,
Definitely.
bye, I'm still here, but,
Oh,
you know.
oh boy. Oh, that's
So,
wonderful. I'm so honored to bring him in.
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
believe you snuck in like that,
Oh, it
Peter.
was so
Ah!
great. Because even I was like, I think this is him, but it's like,
Yeah.
but I kept thinking all along, man, you are really doing a good job at this. Like, just enough that I would know, yet not enough that you would suspect who it was.
Gosh almighty.
So,
Oh, that's hilarious.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, no, well
all right.
done. That was an excellent
Oh,
reading.
thank you. Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
let's have a talk about people, spirits, okay, who come in more often than others. Okay. And
Okay.
for
Yeah.
the benefit of our YouTube audience, okay, we have spirits who we practice together all the time, okay, and so we know a fair amount about each other, but ethically it's okay if you provide new evidence, okay, about that person, okay, and so that's why we continue to work in these forums. But some of the people who we know come in more often than others, and Tammy's husband is a very frequent visitor, okay, and i I didn't even recognize him when he came in here. So apparently he has like upped his game. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
He's
There were
upped
a
his
couple of
game.
other really super specific things that I was like, yeah, this is definitely him. So,
Okay. Yeah, but I didn't like I did not know that's the first time that I had heard about the blowing of the kiss.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
and most of this stuff you didn't know any, yeah, I mean, you didn't know any.
Yeah,
any of
I
this.
I didn't know about anything about where he worked or anything like that, and
No.
and honestly didn't feel like him, which is pretty funny. So, but I have spirits like that too, like my grandmother. For people who watch this channel all the time, my one grandmother is a very frequent visitor, and she loves being here. Absolutely, really loves being here and running the show, and it's wonderful, to maintain that relationship with people who have crossed over to the other side like that. I think.
Yes.
But it's kind of funny because when you get into readings like that, because the man that Tammy brought in for me this morning, I think I've heard from maybe 3 or 4 times. Okay. So he's not a frequent visitor, you know. And then you can see the difference in the readings and the information that comes out, don't you think, Tammy?
Yeah. 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 I do. Yeah. Um, Yeah, because the thing that I think also has to happen is that if the medium starts to feel like they know the person coming in, that can get tricky,
Mhm.
because then it's like, oh gosh, am I giving new information, or do I know this already?
Good point.
And so I think as long as the medium says, I'm getting this, but I already know that, and they validate that, I'm getting this, but I already know that. Or if it becomes clear, like, oh, I have your, I have your husband here. Then as
And the
long as
medium knows that. The medium will
medium
say,
knows
I
it,
have your
I
husband
have your
here.
husband here. The
Okay.
medium knows it, and they already know a lot about the husband. As
Mhm.
long as the husband gives different information, if they can get some that's the same to know that, yep, that's him. Those things usually come in. But then there's other information that hasn't come in, then, that's still, a good, fair reading, as long as it's new.
Exactly. And that
Yeah.
that new information, a lot of times for the benefit of our YouTube audience, that new information will come in the form of memories. Because if you think about somebody that you've spent, your lifetime with, like a parent or something like this, all the memories that you have with that person, okay, there's literally an endless supply of new information that the medium can pull in for you in the form of a memory, or you as the medium can pull in, for a sitter. Okay. If you ask for a different memory, okay. Grandma baking cookies doesn't count as a memory. Okay. But oh heavens, there's so many specific things that you can talk about. And like going back to what Tammy said, about my high school boyfriend. Okay, the information about pencils, the drumming with the pencils, was how I knew it was him. Okay, and
Okay.
then she gave me additional information that, like, nobody has ever brought in before. Okay, nobody's ever talked about his wife, which was kind of funny. Okay, so that was the first time that information came in. All right, and I forget, there was one other piece that nobody else had come in. So
Mhm.
so that was like a lovely mix of stuff I was positive about, stuff that's never
Yeah.
come in, and stuff I didn't know.
Well, and yeah, it's so true. And I was going to circle back around to, that reading where, people change, people have different dimensions and within themselves. We're not all, one dimensional, we have many sides to us, all humans do. And so that's why they can bring in a totally different side of themselves, things that, maybe were just a different side that um, the person doesn't really know.
Mhm.
So even with my husband here, like these could be things that, well, they were things that you don't know. It's a whole different part of his life, because
Mhm.
everybody has
Mhm.
different parts of their lives, and
Mhm.
so it's inexhaustive, really.
And talking about that, I just remember somebody gave you a reading that I heard where they were talking about your husband, and what a great piece of evidence this was, having, I think it was an apricot colored scarf.
Oh, yes, that was Joanne.
That was Joanne. Okay. All
Yes.
right. And so Joanne brought in, but like Tammy's husband has been here frequently. Okay. But Joanne comes in and she said he had an apricot colored scarf. All right.
Yes.
Well, first of all, how many guys do you know have an apricot colored scarf? Okay.
Exactly.
But there you go. But talking about the difference, and so
It's more
many
like burnt
different.
sienna, but
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
light pastel. But well, you know what was really interesting about that too? I had been wearing his scarf.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
fabulous.
yeah. So
Fabulous.
yeah, so
Okay.
that's why he was like, "Oh, wearing my scarf, are you?" Or I'm sure he was happy I was wearing it, but
Yeah, there you go.
so that was pretty amazing. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay, Tammy, a great day here. And we want to thank our YouTube audience for stopping in and seeing us this morning. Um, if you like what you see on this channel, we're here every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please hit like and subscribe, and you'll be notified automatically of any upcoming live streams that we're doing. And the other thing that I'm just going to throw out too, if you have any questions that you would like to see the mediums address on this channel, send me an email, okay, through the channel, and we'll put it up and see what happens. I
That's
never
great.
know.
Great
So,
idea.
and it's always
Great
nice to get
idea.
different opinions on it too. So, but we love hearing from you. So thanks for commenting too. So, but I'm going to go ahead and close this down with a prayer. If everyone would join me, please. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Thank you for this gift of mediumship that you've given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy into the lives of people who have sorrow, health into the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Thank you for the lessons that you've given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen. All right. Thanks, and hope to see you next Saturday. Bye bye.